Hey there, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are a Spanish speaker trying to level up your English and sound way more natural in everyday conversations, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're breaking down these little grammar concepts that native speakers use entirely on autopilot, determiners and quantifiers. You can think of these as the essential building blocks that give your sentences structure. So, let's dive right into this step-by-step visual guide. And a huge thank you to the American English Academy, who provided the amazing source material for today's lesson. They are basically the ultimate expert guide for mastering all the little nuances of the English language, and we'll be using their frameworks today to completely transform how you build your sentences. All right, here is our game plan for today. 1. Determiners step by step. 2 are detectives, what, which, and whose. 3. Expressing informal quantities. 4. General versus specific. And 5. We're going to put your English to the test.
Okay, Section 1. Determiners step by step, focusing specifically on using them right before numbers.
So when you and the person you're talking to already clearly understand what you're referring to, you really don't need to repeat the noun. It just sounds clunky. Imagine you're with a friend looking at a litter of adorable puppies. Your friend goes, "What cute puppies?" And you respond, "I know. Look at these two. Can we have them?" Notice that phrase, these two. You didn't say these two puppies. Because the context is completely obvious, you just dropped the demonstrative these directly in front of the number 2. It points right to the objects without sounding repetitive. Super easy, right?
Moving on to Section 2, are detectives. What, which, and whose. When you're trying to investigate something in English, you use interrogative determiners. Think of them as your detective tools to uncover different types of clues. And honestly, if you're translating directly from Spanish in your head, this comparison is going to be your best friend. Think of what like gay. It's an open investigation where you're looking for general information. Which is more like a police lineup. You have a very specific, definite set of options in front of you, kind of like cuál. And finally, whose is your fingerprint kit. You use it to find the owner of something, which perfectly mirrors de quién.
The really crucial thing here is nailing the difference between what and which, because they get mixed up all the time. Take a broad question like, what type of car did you drive? This is totally wide open. It could literally be any car in the world. That's your open investigation. But if you ask, which direction did she run in, you're standing at an intersection. There are only a few possible paths. It's a definite set, where you have to select from the options right there in front of you.
And then, when it comes to finding the owner, we bust out the fingerprinting kit. Whose? Whose turn is it? Or, I wonder whose book this is. It specifies exactly which person a thing belongs to. It is just the most direct, efficient way to ask about possession.
All right, Section 3. Expressing informal quantities using quantifiers with the word of. So, we've talked about pointing at things and investigating things, but now let's measure volume. If you want to sound instantly more conversational when you're talking about large quantities, you definitely want to remember these. Start sprinkling these phrases into your dialogue. Plenty of, tons of, loads of, and heaps of. And the absolute best part? These informal quantifiers are incredibly flexible. They work perfectly for count nouns like cars and non-count nouns like water.
Let's actually hear how these sound in action. I have tons of homework to do. Or, she's a nice girl with loads of friends. Do you notice how much more vibrant and expressive that sounds compared to just saying a lot of homework or many friends? It just gives your English this really wonderful natural rhythm.
Section 4. General versus specific, using our camera lens analogy.
Let's tackle a concept that trips up so many intermediate learners. Think of your sentence exactly like a camera. When we make a general statement about the whole world, we use a wide shot. We just drop a quantifier right before the noun. Some experts think a vaccine is years away. That's general experts everywhere. But when we want to talk about a specific group, we have to zoom our lens in. We do this by adding the phrase of the. Some of the experts at the conference presented a report. See that zoom effect? We went from experts in general to specifically the ones at the conference, just by adding of the. Now there is a very common, very quick exception here. You actually don't need to use the word of when you're using the quantifiers all and both. You can just say all the students instead of all of the students, or both the cars instead of both of the cars. It's a really handy shortcut that keeps your sentences crisp while you're zooming that camera lens.
Okay, Section 5. It's time for a quick check to test your English.
All right,
Time to take the training wheels off and put those grammar detective skills to the test. Here is your first challenge. I don't know blank box I packed the glasses in. Should we use what, which, or whose? Feel free to take a second and guess the answer.
And the correct answer is which. I don't know which box I packed the glasses in. Why? Because when you're packing, you have a very specific, definite set of boxes right in front of you. It's a police lineup of boxes, not an open investigation of every box on planet Earth. Awesome job if you got that one right.
Let's try a sentence correction next. I want you to focus on the camera lens analogy we just talked about, wide shot versus zoomed in. Is this sentence correct or incorrect? She never has enough of the time to visit me. Think about how the word time is being used here.
If you said incorrect, you nailed it. The correction is, she never has enough time to visit me. In this context, time is a totally general, broad concept. We want the wide shot, so we absolutely do not need to zoom in with the phrase of the. Okay, one last quick check. Let's test your ability to use context clues with numbers. We have 6 juice glasses, but blank 4 need washing. Do we use that or these?
The answer is these. These 4 need washing. You successfully placed the plural demonstrative these right before the number, perfectly using the context of those dirty glasses sitting right there in front of you. You are officially mastering these shortcuts.
Let's quickly summarize the 3 golden rules we learned today so you can really lock them in. Number 1, use demonstratives directly before numbers when the context is clear. Number 2, be a grammar detective. Use what for open investigations, which for specific choices, and whose to find belongings. And number 3, use that camera lens trick. Keep it wide for general statements and zoom in with of the when you're talking about specific groups.
If you found this step-by-step breakdown helpful, you absolutely have to subscribe to the American English Academy channel. They are the true experts at turning complex English grammar into totally simple, understandable analogies for intermediate learners. I highly recommend checking out their full catalog. So, as you go out there and start practicing these new skills, I'll leave you with this. Now that you've mastered determiners and quantifiers, what everyday English grammar mystery are you going to solve next?